Hello. Let's talk about border security and immigration. Can anyone tell me why our border with Mexico hasn't been secured? The problem's been there for decades. Presidents have let over 15 million people try to cross that border. Estimated 10 million of those people are still in our country. I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. There's a very simple and easy solution. And I don't know why it's unpalatable to all the other politicians, but to me it seems very simple. We militarize the border. The military can't be the primary entity securing the border. The Border Patrol has to be. But the military can support, transport, use equipment, and assist the Border Patrol in that. If we put 5 military personnel with each border agent, we could then have plenty of people to make sure that the border was secure. It is a very simple solution, and we need to just go ahead and do it. And after we're done with that, we need to build a fence that the Border Patrol can secure. Israel has over 400 miles of border, keeping out terrorists and a lot of other people that want to harm them. I can't believe America can't figure out how to build an 1,800-mile fence. The issue with those people that have come across the border is they're a burden to us financially. They cost us in ways such as medical care, such as incarceration. In Arizona alone, they estimate in 2004 that it cost $1.3 billion to take care of those issues along with education. Now, here's the deal. In my opinion, it's shame on us, quite frankly. We didn't secure our border. If you bake cookies and the family's sitting in the kitchen, don't you think those wonderfully smelling chocolate chip cookies are going to entice the kids or one of the parents to go in there and have a bite? Well, in Mexico there aren't as many jobs. There aren't as many opportunities. We're the greatest country in the world. Why wouldn't people want to come here? The fact that they crossed our border illegally, most of them came across basically to get jobs. Much of the money is sent back to Mexico. We need to make sure that from an immigration perspective, we treat them fairly. But remember, we are complicit in this. We are part of the problem. So what I would suggest is this. We put together, I hate to say this, we expand government, but we create an entity that for 6 months we register all illegal aliens. So we know who they are, we are sure they can then work, and we then know how to track them, and anybody else after that time period, if caught or arrested for some reason, would be deported immediately. Then after 2 years, we would, over the next few years after that, start a rotating basis where we ask them to go home for a year. I don't support giving them amnesty. I don't support giving them expedited citizenship. They would merely be allowed to be involved in our guest worker program. We have to have that to deal with it. We can't just take and say, okay, on this date, we're going to send 10 million people out of America. They actually are employed. They are doing things. Now, maybe they're getting paid cash, or they shouldn't be employed. We do have laws against that, but it happens. So let's come up with a plan where we work together with them to solve the immigration issue and to allow these people to at least have a guest worker program, but they pay their fair share of taxes and whatever, so that we are not subsidizing them being here and they're an asset to America. And as another point, I don't know if you realize this, but in 2008, there were over 340,000 babies born to at least one illegal immigrant parent. Now think about that number, 340,000 across America. And you know what? Here in America, with our laws today, 2 wrongs make a right. Those babies are all American citizens. I don't think that was the intention of our founding fathers when they wrote the Constitution the way they did. I think we need to change that. We also need to understand that this is a melting pot. It's not a bunch of individual cultures that are here living on American soil. From that perspective, English is the language of America. And that is what I would propose, that all federal documents and anything dealing with the federal government would be done in English. Do they deserve time to understand and make sure they know our language? Yes. Do they deserve a lifetime? No. Maybe a year. It's quick to try and learn English in a year, but we've got to get the transition going. We also have one other problem as it relates to immigration, and that's the overstaying of visas. There is a huge population of people that come in by boat or airplane that simply just blend into the American population, and by overstaying their visas. We need to come up with a policy and a plan to deal with that.